guys, and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be doing a video on Freya animal associations. So before we begin with all of the associations, I just wanted to say that Freya can be associated with any animal that you think of, that you believe she is associated with. The animals listed in this video are not like, you know, me telling you that these are for sure her associations. If you feel that they are not the associations, that's fine. If you feel I've missed out on one that you think should be on this list, that's fine too. Go ahead and comment the ones below that you think, you know, could have been mentioned in this video. Maybe it can help out more people find better associations. This is simply a gathering of the associations I've found on many different websites, as well as some of my own experiences. So, you know, disclaimer on that, I guess. Yes, so let's get into it. So, Freya can be associated with many animals, particularly female animals or animals that are either in heat or are giving birth. It isn't specifically only female energies, but this is just one that I've seen a pattern on. Most of her animals kind of have a theme of like fertility. Since she's a fertility goddess herself or a love goddess herself, there's kind of that theme that goes on with a lot of these animals. So I'm going to give you the first top 3 animal associations that are like most of the websites and most books that I have read have given for the animal associations. So the first one is the most well-known, which is cats, because Freya is a cat lady. So the most common told part of animals associated with Freya are her cats that draw or like pull her carriage. They've also been said to be lynxes in some cases, depending on what you're reading or what pictures you're looking at. You know, kind of goes hand in hand. These cats were gifts from Thor, and there's a whole story on that, but I'm not going to go into Thor's part in this. We'll just say simply that he gave her the cats as a gift. So I read this on a website. I don't know if like this rings true for everyone, but I'm going to include the info just in case. So Diana Parson suggested the names Beigul and Trigul, or Triagul. I don't know if I'm saying those right. Meaning Beagold and Treegold for her cat's names. Now, you know, if you disagree with this, that's fine. I just thought it was interesting, so I wanted to add it. But basically, the names that she gave were to honor her connections with honey and amber, sort of the colors, the vibes of that. So, some cat symbolism. Also, if I'm peering off to the side, it's because I have my notes over here on my laptop, so don't mind me. So, cat symbolism is the balance between seemingly opposites, such as inner and outer, action and rest, light and dark. This really is well fitting with me because I believe Freya is a balance on light and dark. Most people see her specifically as a light goddess. I see her as both sides, and I will make more videos talking about more of her darker elements that most people do not see a lot of. I personally work a lot with her aspect of Mardal, and that for me is more of like the in-between. A very in-between, and I relate so much with Mardal. I can't wait to get into that, but for now, associations. So cats also have the spirit of adventure. I feel like this fits very well for Freya because she she seems like she's kind of the party girl, ready to go, and you know, she likes to have fun. She likes to be adventurous, to do a lot of new things, to just explore. She's a very explorative goddess, I feel like, from my personal experience. Cats can also represent courage. I agree. Freya is very courageous, so that makes sense. Deep, relaxed connection with self. Freya is so connected to herself. She's so comfortable in her body. She is just like in love with herself. So I 100% can see the connection between her and the cats with that. And I also put on here the lynx symbolism as well, just because sometimes the cats can be seen as the lynxes. So I don't know if that's how you say that. Lynx. Is lynx just lynx if you're talking about 2 or more of them? I don't know. So lynx symbolism. Transformation. Yes. Yes. Freya's definitely been teaching me all about transformation of self. There is a lot of that, so I can see where that vibes. And also stealth. Being stealthy. She's got the shapeshifter vibe, so I feel like as a shapeshifter, you sometimes can shift to fit in certain situations to get information that you need, so I could definitely see that. And then also spirited. I mean, Freya's really a spirited person in high spirits a lot of the time. Not always, because she's definitely the both, but the main aspect that I see her in, she's very spirited, high energy, a lot of fun to be around. She's very playful goddess. The second of the top animals she's associated with are boars or wild pigs or swine. So she personally does have a boar that she rides on, which is also said to be her human lover that she rides upon, which is really funny to me. But I'm not going to read the name of the boar just because that looks like difficult for me to read and I don't think I'll say it correctly anyways. So name of the boar here. Yes. So boars are associated with being solitary, which is really interesting because Freya is really about like sometimes there's aspects of yourself that you need to work with in solitary in order to, better yourself. So that's definitely interesting. Protection. She is a protective goddess for sure. She's also a very, in my opinion, motherly goddess. So she's definitely protective over her children, over those who work with her. So I definitely get those vibes. Another thing boars are associated with is being motherly. I just said Freya's very motherly in my opinion. So yes. The boar is also seen as a symbol of war, warriors, and mighty courage sort of thing. Freya's courageous. She is a goddess of war too. So yes, absolutely. The boars are also having that wild, playful side where they like to, play and be just crazy and do whatever. So Freya definitely matches that as well. The third one that I could say is arguably the thing she is most associated with, birds. Like, I've seen her the most as like bird forms. I always feel her presence as birds too. Now, how does she connect to birds? Well, she's got the whole feather cloak thing going on where she can use it to fly. She can usually take the form of a falcon. This is her connection to her shape-shifting abilities as well, so she can shape-shift with this cloak. And not only that, another interesting fact is that she has lent out this cloak to other gods and I believe goddesses as well to help sort of with whatever they have needed it for. She definitely, in my opinion, has the most connection to birds. And as I said before, she can be connected with a lot of different animals, so I'm just going to go through the top three birds that I have seen her most associated with. Birds are often symbolized as omens or forecasters of future events sort of things. They can symbolize the pursuit of knowledge, and they are sometimes considered the link between Earth and other realms. Some more common ones they can be seen as is freedom because of flight, being able to fly and get away from, whatever whatever blockages or whatever you've been caught in a cage for, flying away from that. So the first bird or birds, that bird group that is connected to her would be ravens or crows. So ravens and crows are mostly symbolizing death sort of things, or as messengers from the underworld or the spirit world or what have you. They are often seen as secretive, as tricksters, very cunning, masters of illusions. They're very curious and mysterious, and they're also very, very smart birds. So this one is one I've definitely seen connected to her a lot, but I personally also connect really well with ravens and crows. My guide, my spirit guide, is a raven, and I personally connect to the crow as a totem animal. So yeah, I have a very big association to that within my family anyways, so that's me personally. But also I think Freya connects with birds so well just because of the feather cloak, the shape-shifting thing, the mysticism, all of that. So the second bird I see her often depicted as is either a hawk or a falcon. So her cloak is said to be made out of falcon feathers. Falcons are seen as the messenger of the spirit world. They are depicted as using their power to focus and to take the lead when the time is right, to kind of take the swoop in, taking opportunity. They're seen to have a strong connection with spirits. They also represent victory and can be associated with medicines or like medicine birds and stuff like that. They can represent leadership and wisdom, fearlessness, tremendous willpower, and of course freedom. So yeah, as I said, with her cloak, we can definitely see the symbolism of the falcon or the hawk with this, just because it's very strong energy. I feel like very strong, very a bird that gets what it wants, sort of thing. Not going to be taken for, you know, a small, you know, these birds are pretty big, so I always imagine them as very strong-willed and strong-powered, very much in their powerful energy. Okay, this last bird example is a little bit of a personal one, but this is the bird that I always see Freya as. Always see her as this. So the association I have with Freya is the heron or the egret, specifically the white egret or the white heron. I started seeing her as this figure pretty much around whenever I started working with her. She just started showing up as the, you know, the heron, like just flying in front of me, or you know, one day I was driving to work. The first time I ever saw it, or saw her as the bird, is I was driving to work and this big white heron flew right in front of my car and I almost hit it. Thank goodness I did not, but it flew over my car and I was like, oh god. And ever since then I will see them, you know, over, usually they're around water, so like over watered areas and stuff like that. I just always started connecting that with Freya. Herons or egrets can symbolize being the supreme hunter, an opportunist, you know, time waiting for the right time to strike, sort of thing, so patience as well. Wisdom and good judgment, resourcefulness, grace and tranquility, determination, solitude, and lastly, determination and independence. And also, since I personally see some of Freya's favorite colors as being gold, white, and silver, and even black, I think black is a good color for her. And also, like, the brownish gold feathers could be for, like, the hawk or the falcon. The black feathers would be ravens, crows, and white feathers for the egret, the heron. I feel like those are colors that very much match her personality. So I have two more animal associations. These are not necessarily as common that I've found. I haven't found as many websites saying this, but I did find them interesting. One of them I've had an experience with, the other one I have not. The first out of those is horses. I personally have had an experience with Freya as a horse. In fact, the first time I ever met her, she appeared to me as a horse, a brown horse. So, if you want to learn more about that, you can check out my Matron Goddess Freya video, which will be the first video out of the Freya playlist, or the Goddess Freya playlist that I have. And I talk a little bit about that in that one. One of Freya's titles is Mare of the Veneer, giving her a connection with horses and emphasizing her role as the fertility goddess. She is also a leader of the Valkyrie, the choosers of the slain, warrior maidens who ride over battlefields on winged horses. Yeah, so anyways, the Valkyries riding the winged horses. Freya's the leader, supposedly. Lots of connections there with horses. Although technically, I guess I would consider those Pegasus or Pegasi. But yes, she definitely has the connections with horses. Some horse symbolism. Sexual energy. Freya is all about that sexual energy, boys and girls. Strong emotions or passionate desires. Absolutely. I can definitely connect with this as well, though, because of my Scorpio energy. Passion is definitely something I am interested in because I'm passionate about everything, and Freya is a passionate goddess, and yes, to all of that. Horses also can symbolize life and death. For example, white horse to black horse, so yin and yang sort of thing. Interesting. An epic power of mind, body, and spirit, which I believe Freya is very comfortable with, so yes. So the second one and the last one I'm going to be talking about today is her association with the hare or the rabbit, which I didn't know she was associated with, so I was very interested to come to this while researching. It does make sense though, since she's got the whole fertility thing going on, so I can really see that connection with like rabbits or bunnies or hares are the sort of face, besides little chicks, for Easter or Ostara, and that's because of the whole fertility, you know, the fertility image. So it definitely makes sense to me that they are connected. So hares often represent the quality of good-naturedness, humility, love of learning, resourcefulness, solitariness, vigilance, contemplation, intuition. The hare is sacred to the moon. Fertility, long-eared listener. I like that they're like good listeners. That's cute. And feminine energy as well. So yeah, the connection with the moon, Freya definitely has that under the Mardal aspect, at least. I definitely could see that. You know, fertility, of course. The feminine energy, Freya is female. Unless you see her in the other aspect, on the other gender, you know, like gender swap on it. That could be cool too. A good listener, Freya is definitely a great listener. I pray to her all the time and just tell her my woes if I'm having a bad day. So yeah, I definitely can see how she and the hare connect. Okay, and those are all the animal associations I have for you guys today, so thank you so much for watching. I did also link below all the resources that I used, like for all the websites that I kind of did. So all the information I gathered together, as well as my own experiences. Like, I don't have a link for my own experiences, I already told you them. The link for all the things that weren't my experiences are down below. So, you know, you can check that out, and there's a bunch of websites for that. So if you want to see all that, have a field day. It's great. And yeah, hopefully this helps you have a better connection to Freya. If you can think of any other animal associations that I didn't list in this video, or if you disagree with it and you want to discuss it respectfully, of course, I'm down to hear your, you know, what you have to say, your thoughts, your ideas, so long as they're respectful of everyone else's, including, you know, mine and the other people below. So yes. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you in another video soon.